Greetings, Earthlings. Now, a lot of people think dairy is a must-have if we want to achieve strong bones, and that ain't the truth. Science makes it clear it's not necessary to consume dairy for our health, including bone health, and especially not needed to reach our calcium or any other nutrient daily recommendation. And we can also reap the health benefits with swapping dairy with plant milk/foods. So in this video, I will go over what calcium is, why it's essential for us humans, the immorality associated with animal agriculture, dairy farming, why we don't need any dairy products to get adequate amounts of calcium and other nutrients, what healthy plant foods are packed with calcium, how achieving healthy bones is a team game, average daily calcium recommendations, and much more. All from what modern day science is illustrating. So, I'll start off by saying calcium is the most abundant mineral in the human body. Approximately 1200 grams of calcium are present in the body of an adult human. More than 99% of that amount is found in teeth and bones. So it's not only very important for our bone health, but research has also confirmed that calcium is involved in vascular contraction, heart health, muscle functions, vasodilation, nerve signaling, intracellular signaling, and hormonal secretion. Each one of these functions could comprise a separate review in itself, but as a group illustrate how essential calcium is in the human body. Any change in serum calcium affects one or more of these functions. For example, hypocalcemia, when the level of calcium in your blood is too low, has been linked to a higher risk of seizures due to its relationship with nerve transmission and intracellular signaling. So we shall start off by going over the reasons as to why animal milk, aka dairy, is so unethical and brutally disturbing. So why are hundreds of millions, possibly over a billion innocent sentient cows, buffaloes, goats, sheep and camels being used for their milk, tortured and slaughtered, living a short, miserable life right now? Well, for the same reason multi-trillions of other animals die every year globally, all for humans' unnecessary consumption. A factory cow, for example, confinement is taken to extremes, forced to live its entire life inside a concrete floored enclosure, and although cows can live 25 years, that's not the case in the dairy industry. Most are sent to slaughter after just 4 or 5 years when their milk production wanes. Like humans, cows are mammals, so they only produce milk to feed their baby, and each mammalian species produces its own special blend best suited for its babies. Starting from the age of 15 months, a female will get brutally artificially impregnated, and after 9 months of being pregnant, her baby will be taken from her within 36 hours, so the farmers can steal and sell to people the milk that is meant for her baby. There is a strong bond between cow and calf formed quickly after birth, and the mother will bellow and scream for days, wondering where her baby is. After all, they are sentient beings that have feelings, feel pain and sorrow. The mother will be brutally impregnated again 2 to 3 months later, and after 4 to 5 years of that vicious cycle, she will be slaughtered for a needless burger. They can get milked up to 3 times a day. Cows who do not willingly walk to be milked are abused and beaten until they are forced to do so. Imagine another species of animal doing that to us humans. Absolutely horrific. We as humans need to take responsibility for our actions and clearly do better. I love the saying, once you know better, do better. This is why I made this video, to share awareness so we can do better, and the best we can do is stop buying dairy or any animal product for that matter, so animal ag can fall while other more ethical, sustainable and even healthier foods can rise. Okay, so if the calf is a male, he will probably either be shot and tossed into a bin or sold and raised for beef, or be killed for veal because they are not deemed profitable enough by the farmers. But if the calf is female, she will usually be prepared for her own entry into dairy production, where she will face the same cycle of hell that her mother is trapped in. In one big diverse investigation over an 18-month period, Surge had hidden cameras in dairy farms all over the UK and documented abuse in every dairy farm. So all these facts are objective, it is the reality. These hidden cameras have revealed shocking evidence that the picture the dairy industry have painted as a wholesome industry is actually far from that, just the complete opposite of what they want you to believe. Their marketing is disgustingly misleading, truth concealed from everybody, which has made it hard for everybody to make the most ethical, healthful and sustainable choice that aligns with their core values. Even if you buy from a local farm or free range, there are similarities. If any difference, they certainly don't justify the actions of producing dairy and is worse with other factors like environment degradation and unsustainability, and they still take sentient animals' lives away, robbing them from their own autonomy and right to life. And they also still go to the slaughterhouse, resulting in harm and unwanted premature death. You'd be delighted to hear that dairy milk consumption has dropped by 42% since 1975, a trend that is accelerating as more people become aware of the dairy industry's dirty practices, and as more people embrace the abundance of plant milks that are up for grabs. So this leads us to the next chapter of this video. You'd be wondering what plant milks and/or other foods you can consume that will provide the nutrients that are found in dairy, like calcium. Well, not only are there an abundance of foods up for grabs, but also healthier foods than dairy. We'll get to that, but first I want to go over a few things. First of all, building strong bones is a team game. Not just calcium, but studies show exercise has the most impactful benefits. In this meta-analysis on the effect of exercise on bone mineral density among patients with the osteoporosis and osteopenia showed different parts of the skeletal system seem to obtain better bone mineral density from different types of exercise. Example, resistance exercise ranked first for the hip bone mineral density, and for the femoral neck bone mineral density, the mind-body exercise such as yoga and tai chi was the most optimal type. Now, in other studies, they show exercises like impact exercise and resistance training are superior in increasing bone mineral density than low impact exercise. So not walking, swimming or bike riding, but jogging, skipping, stair jumps, hopping, etc. for impact exercises, and weight/band/body weight lifting like squats, bench press, shoulder press, etc. for the resistance training type of exercise. This ain't a ticket to neglect your cardiovascular training like swimming and bike riding, because they are very health promoting, but I'm just talking about the bone health benefits here. Other components that play a part in this team game are vitamin B12 found in fortified nutritional yeast, for example, and protein, which you can get abundance of in plants obviously, but just in case you don't know, you can find it in things like tofu, tempeh, edamame, even hemp seeds, etc. And potentially more nutrients like magnesium are found in cashews, legumes, pumpkin seeds, etc. that had a 2021 systematic review indicating that a higher magnesium intake may support an increase in hip and femoral neck bone mineral density. But due to limited research, no associations with bone mineral density at other sites or fractures were found. Cross-sectional studies show in general that exercise modalities requiring high forces and/or generating high impacts have the greatest osteogenic potential, osteogenic being the formation of bones. Also, this study states, based on the available information, resistance exercise, either alone or in combination with other interventions, may be the most optimal strategy to improve the muscle and bone mass in postmenopausal women, middle-aged men, or even the older population. Particularly, resistance exercise seems to be beneficial for the cortical bone. So you can consume as much calcium as you want but still develop osteoporosis, aka weak bones. There are studies like ecological studies that illustrate countries that drink the most cow's milk have the highest fracture rates and rates of osteoporosis. These countries also have the lowest vitamin D status, so vitamin D is crucial for bone mineral density because it enhances the absorption of calcium in your diet. So in other words, if you are deficient in vitamin D, then you'll absorb less calcium and thus can result in osteoporosis, etc. So all of these factors/components synergistically work together, producing an optimal bone health net outcome. So there you go, now you know. Oh yeah. So how much daily calcium is recommended? Dietary requirements vary slightly by age, gender, postmenopausal women and population group. So on average, it's around 500 to 1300 milligram daily. More specifically for bones, 1 in 2 people in America and Australia aged over 50 will have an osteoporotic fracture. So to prevent osteopenia or osteoporosis, consuming at least 700 milligram daily is recommended. Barriers to adequate intake need to be addressed, also including lactase deficiency. So what plant-exclusive foods have plenty of calcium in them? These are calcium quantities sourced from Chronometer, which is curated by the USDA. Foods like, so quantifying in 1 cup, whole grains like oatmeal, e.g. 1 cup of dry amaranth has 307 milligrams. Dark leafy greens like collard and spinach, example, 1 cup of cooked kale has 177 milligrams. Even legumes like black beans, example is 1 cup of canned Great Northern beans has 160 milligrams of calcium. And cruciferous veggies like broccoli, e.g. 1 cup of raw cabbage has 53 milligrams. There's figs, and 1 cup of almonds has 269 milligrams. Quantifying in 1 tablespoon here is 1 tablespoon blackstrap molasses has 200 milligrams. Seeds like sesame and tahini, example can be 1 tablespoon poppy seeds has 126 milligrams. Quantifying in 100 grams here, so soy, example 100 grams of tofu has 267 milligrams. So there are plenty of plant foods that provide calcium, and when you are consuming a healthy, diverse, plant-rich whole food diet, which is recommended for optimal health anyway, it all adds up and it makes it easy to hit your daily recommendation. One of the easiest ways to hit your daily intake is to consume plant milks that are fortified with calcium. So look for the ones with at least 300 milligrams per serve, a serve being 250 ml, around 1 cup, which is around 43% of RDI. Quick notes. Soy milk is much more nutrient dense than other plant milks, especially with the protein content, and it may benefit you to grab the plant milks with other fortified nutrients like vitamin D and B12, depending on your current diet / sun exposure, etc. What are the calcium absorption differences with dairy compared to plants? So, humans absorb about 32% of calcium from dairy, but humans absorb about 40 to 70% of calcium from low oxalate greens like kale, bok choy, broccoli, turnip greens, etc. Important note to consider though is there are certain greens high in oxalate like spinach, beet greens and Swiss chard, in which we only absorb about 5% of calcium from. To reassure you, many foods that contain oxalates are delicious and provide many health benefits. So how can dairy negatively affect us? So without including all the environmental damage, unethicality and every other negative impact dairy has, here are some negative impacts dairy has just in relation to human health. For starters, dairy is an umbrella term for a really heterogeneous food group. In other words, the term dairy is used to cover a broad category of dairy products rather than a single specific item. Dairy is nuanced, and there are distinctions within this food group. So categories of dairy include fermented or not, dietary fat content, refined or unrefined, solid or a liquid. So to be objective with dairy in relation to the impacts on human health, the term dairy doesn't have one conclusion with health outcomes, but rather many with each particular category. So with that said, I'm more focusing on the negatives with dairy and may not be as broad as some people would like, because I'm trying to keep it short, and as science shows, we can swap dairy out with other plant foods, and the unethicality and needlessness of consuming dairy is already enough to stop consuming it. First of all, 73% of African Americans are lactose intolerant, 75% of Asians, 70% of Native Americans, 53% of Hispanic Americans are lactose intolerant. Dairy consumption is associated with eczema, acne, constipation, acid reflux, iron deficiency, anemia. Dairy is the most allergenic food. Dairy naturally is hormone fluid, organic or not, estrogen, saturated fat, cholesterol and galactose, the things you don't want whether organic or not. Organic dairy has just as much saturated fat and cholesterol and galactose, etc. as conventional dairy. The law allows 750,000 pus cells per litre. Don't know about you, but nah, not my appetite. A meta-analysis suggests that high intakes of dairy products may be associated with an increased risk of prostate cancer. In this narrative review article, they say it's thought that the great concern about dairy foods' hormone content is steroid hormones, especially estrogen, due to the current epidemiological studies which indicating most probable effects in them in initiating and provoking of breast and prostate cancers. In summary, it seems that steroid hormones are very potent compounds in dairy foods, which exerting profound biological effects in animals and humans. There is consistent evidence for the mitogenic role of IGF-1 in carcinogenesis by increasing cell proliferation and inhibiting apoptosis. In other words, epidemiological studies have reported a positive association between circulating IGF-1 levels and various primary cancers, such as breast, colorectal and prostate cancer. But I would love to see further human outcome data on this. Of course, there are nutrients in dairy that are healthy, but also other components in dairy that are not healthy. So it's important to look at the bigger picture here and choose an option that is more healthy and of course ethical and sustainable, which of course is going to be sourced from plants. So, plant milks often have micronutrients added to them like B12 and calcium to match cow's milk amount. Plant milks also have less saturated fat than dairy milk and more healthy plant phenol antioxidants, fiber, phytochemicals, as well as nitric oxide, which helps you maintain healthy blood pressure and more. Healthy fatty acids that reduce risk for neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, reduce inflammation, reduce conditions like eczema, and more. And veggies have molecules that wrench up free radicals and suppress oxidative stress. These differences and components in varying plant milks give them a health promoting edge, thus driving down diseases like cardiovascular disease, cancers, reduced risk of diabetes, and more. In saying this, it's good to be mindful of the ingredients and nutritional table of these milks because some have added sugars, some milks contain sweeteners, etc., and some are not organic. And every type of plant milk vary in certain nutrients. So be mindful of these ingredients / components and choose the ones that best suit you. So eliminating animal products and buying healthy plant exclusive foods is a powerful carriage of spending anybody can use to help themselves get more healthy, reduce environmental damage on the planet, and of course the most important reason being to reduce harm and slaughter to innocent sentient animals such as the mammals that produce milk for their young. Not for humans, for their young. So the most powerful courage of spending would be to not buy any animal products to reap optimal benefits. I will say as well that taste preferences do change. If you consume and like the taste of dairy right now, it's because you're habituated to it. If you swap out dairy with soy milk, for example, and aren't that fond of the taste, then give it a chance by having it every day so your taste buds adjust. I had to do that with soy milk from cow's milk. Now soy milk is my tastiest favourite milk. And once you've adapted to the plant milk / milks, you'll find cow's milk or dairy will taste weird and bad. I unintentionally had a sip of cow's milk like a year ago and it tasted foul, and I grew up drinking it. And this brings us to a close for this one. I hope you learnt a lot in this video and now know factual truths about the dirty dairy industry, calcium, and everything else we went over. I hope this video helps you align your core values with your eating behaviours, as well as gives you some guidance to achieve optimal health. To support me doing this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you thought it was helpful and if you think others would love to hear this information. Lastly, I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, so if you'd like a personalised one-on-one workout and or nutrition plan, then please let me know. A few links are in the description where you can get started and or contact me for inquiries. Thanks for watching and peace out.